This lesson is about building costs. Okay, most of the questions will give you all the facts. This is just for your interest about how much it costs to make a house. So these are all cost per meter squared. So if you want to go home and estimate how big your house is, okay, so just imagine what the dimensions are, maybe go outside and measure it, and then you can so find the area and then multiply it by whatever number this is. So if it's a full brick home, level block, single level, like a unique design, multiply by $1,750 per square meter, and that'll be an indication of the cost of construction. Okay, so these things do actually exist out in reality. Okay, so let's take our attention to our room in K9. Okay, if it costs $900 per square meter to construct a classroom, what's the cost of this classroom? So I'll draw a little diagram of what our classroom looks like. I think it's 9 meters by 7 meters. Okay, I want to calculate the cost of the classroom. So I'll first calculate what the area of the classroom is, which I'll find it's just a rectangle, length times width, 7 times 9, 63 meters squared. Okay, from here I'll look at the cost of construction. Okay, as a little subheading. Okay, I'll first find the cost of the room, which I'll find by finding the area and multiplying it by the cost per meter squared. So 63 by 900. This will give me the cost of the room. The room's going to cost me $56,700 to construct. Okay, and now I need to look at the total cost, which will be the cost of the room plus any extras. So I'll take my 5, 6, 700 and I'll add on my data projector and I'll add on my whiteboard. Okay, add these on. I get 58,200. So when you're doing these problems from the textbook, you need to be able to show some sort of setting out like this. It won't always be the same, but just find some way to be able to commentate on what you're doing. The worst thing would be that your solution looks something like this. Okay, that would be horrible. But it's just a whole heap of numbers. And I remember from last year, I marked several of these that just had numbers, nothing else. Okay, we want to communicate our solution. Okay, so square meters is typically what we'll be using for area. There are alternative measures of area. Okay, one of them, I wonder if this link works. One of them is the Pyong. Okay, so if you want to go and buy a house in Japan or in Korea, the size of the room is measured by the number of tatami mats that fit inside the room. Okay, or the number of double tatami mats. So we've got all these sort of interesting or different measurements. Okay, I think one of them, I think South Korea, was how many people could fit in the room lying down. Okay, so just things to think of. One that's still in use is the square. Okay, so square is 10 feet by 10 feet. So we're using this to say how big the house is. Okay, something that's 10 feet by 10 feet. Okay, as you can probably guess, feet and inches, it's something from the United States. Okay, so we want to convert this into metric. Okay, so what would this be in meters so that we can get some conversion factor? Okay, so I know 10 feet. If there's 12 inches in 1 foot, okay, it'll be 10 times 12 inches. Okay, so 10 feet is 120 inches. And I know each inch is 2.54 centimeters. So I'll have 120 times 2.54 to make it into centimeters. Okay, so this will tell me that 10 feet is 304.8 centimeters. So the area of this thing that's called a square, okay, square versus square meter, it will be 92903 square centimeters. These are just centimeters. Okay, just multiplying these two by each other. To convert this to meters squared, need to divide by 100 twice, because I've got centimeters squared. So the area of one of these squares is 9.29 meters squared. Alright, so you don't need to be able to do that conversion. Okay, if you can, that's great. It'll help you out on QCS as well. Okay, this conversion factor is the one that you need to memorize. That 1 square is 9.29 meters squared. Okay, so we've got two little things that we need to note. Okay, so to convert squares to meters squared, okay, we'll times by 9.29. Okay, and to convert the other way, we'll divide by 9.29. And 9.29 is our conversion factor. Okay, so what's the area of the classroom in squares? So that 63 meters squared, we'll divide that by 9.29. 63 divided by 9.29, and this will give us a number of squares. Okay, so we get 6.78 squares. Okay, have a go at those conversions down the bottom. Okay, press pause and have a go. Okay, I've given you enough time to have a go now, so to go squares to meters squared, but times them by 9.29. Okay, so we get 18.58 meters squared. How many squares in 1 meter squared? Okay, this conversion is dividing by 9.29. Okay, 0.108 squares. Squares to meters squared times by 9.29. 70.42 meters squared. Okay, and the opposite way, again dividing by 9.29. 8.29 squares. Okay, so from here, have a go at these questions. Yep, good luck.